You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Brian Kelly met with reporters on Thursday, his last media availability before LSU would be wheels up. The great news is that Tigers had a clean week of prep. As we know, there's going to be no Zy Alexander, no Mekhi Wingo. Emory Jones is good to go. And other than that, the Tigers are just about as healthy as you could possibly want to be. And one of the things Brian Kelly said when he met with reporters on Thursday night was about the preparation this week on the defensive side of the ball and how far LSU has come on that side of the ball from that Ole Miss and Missouri stretch.
We're better defensively than we were when we played Mississippi. We've made steady progress. I think we're still work in progress, but we're getting better. I think our practice today, and I told them on the defensive side of the ball, was night and day compared to where it was against Missouri on a Thursday. So that's preparation, right? We have to perform. We got to tackle. We got to play the ball in the air. We've got to have 11 guys executing together. But we're definitely making the kind of progress that I wanted to see with my own eyes, and we're seeing it.
Progress is a great thing. It would be hard to be any worse than you were in that stretch against Arkansas, Ole Miss, and the first half against Missouri. Of course, the Tigers were able to find a couple stops in the second half against Missouri, and then they were really good against Auburn, winning that game 48-18, and then shutting out Army 62-0. But I understand it. Auburn and Army are two of the worst teams in college football offensively, and this is a dramatically different test. Now, Alabama offensively isn't elite. They're 70th in the country in offense. So it's not like the test is as sincere as going to Oxford with a really creative play caller in Lane Kiffin and all of that offensive skill and the way that they function. Alabama's offense is going to function a little differently than Ole Miss or even Missouri did. So it's a different kind of challenge, but still LSU defensively has to be up for it. Brian Kelly was also asked, if you look at this team today, are they closer to what the expectation was when the season started?
I think our football team is much more mature in handling the moments. I thought we were a little bit further along, that we could handle a lead at halftime and not come out in the second half and think that the game was over. We learned a tough lesson. I learned a tough lesson. I learned as a head coach that I needed to do a better job in terms of recognizing that. So I think I'm better for it. I think our team's better for it. I think we're in a better position than we were at that time against Florida State.
You know, there's so much that goes into a game week like this, and there's so many things that you're going to see thrown out and considered. Alabama coming off of in a revenge situation, losing to a team the year before. Nick Saban in those situations is nearly flawless. He almost never loses back-to-back seasons to the same team. There's a lot of history going against LSU in this game, but you don't play against history. You have to go line it up and play a football game, and the guys across from you. And LSU's got the best offense in college football. You're going into a very difficult environment, night game, CBS, 100,000 people that are going to be full throat. All the advantages you had in your favor a year ago flip when you line up there on the road in Tuscaloosa tomorrow night. So, look, I mean, the thing we know about Alabama is they're a team that has started slowly, and they're a team that has given up pressures. Can LSU's offense get off to a fast start, as they have done throughout this season? And can the LSU defense pressure Jalen Milroe the way that basically every team that has played them has been able to do? The other thing that Brian Kelly was asked about was about actually getting Jalen Milroe on the ground. We've thrown this number out a lot this week, which is the sack total, right? And Alabama is fifth worst. There are only 4 teams in college football that have allowed more sacks than Alabama this season. So Brian Kelly was asked, how important is that sack total as opposed to just putting pressure on Jalen Milroe?
Compressing the pocket and knockdowns are just as important as sacks. Everybody loves the sack coming off the edge, and it makes for a great ESPN highlight. But when that pocket is compressed and you can't step up and you have to throw the ball in a manner that you're not comfortable with, or that you're knocking down passes because you're timing up the throw. Those are really important, and they're equally as important as any individual pass rush. So we're looking for all of those. And we saw against our last few opponents a combination of all those things. We'll look for a combination of all those against Alabama.
It's LSU and Alabama, 6:45 CBS, the night game, prime time, with just about everything for LSU on the line. If you want to get back to Atlanta and defend your SEC West title and have a chance to keep your playoff pulse alive, you got to go win in Tuscaloosa. Tigers are a 3-point underdog, shortest line we've seen since LSU was favored in Tuscaloosa back in 2007, Nick Saban's first year. When LSU went to Tuscaloosa in 2011 Game of the Century, Tigers were a 4.5-point underdog. 4 years ago, the 2019 went to Tuscaloosa as a 5.5-point underdog. The Tigers, the shortest line at 3 since we've seen as long as Nick Saban has been in Tuscaloosa when LSU was a favorite back in 2007. So odds makers generally are tap dancing right around it. We'll see if LSU can overcome Alabama Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.